All right, let's talk about getting rich. You know, when I was on my path to becoming a millionaire, I imagined it all. The private jets, the fancy cars, you name it. But here's the thing. That's a total fantasy. The actual journey to building real wealth, it looks completely different from what you see on social media. So today, we're going to break down 7 things you probably need to stop buying if your goal is to actually be rich and not just, look the part.
And this quote right here, it just nails the entire problem. So many people would rather look rich than put in the work to be rich. And that's the core conflict, right? There's a massive gap between pretending you have money and actually having it. The wild part is, the real road to financial freedom, it often means saying no to all the stuff society screams at you to buy to prove you've made it.
So where do we even begin? Well, let's start with the big stuff. The biggest purchases we make. These are the things that everyone tells you are good investments, but honestly, they can be total traps. They can tie up your money and just completely halt your progress. Let's dive into the 2 biggest ones.
Okay, hold on, because this first one is going to sound a little crazy. Could buying a home actually be your worst financial decision? I know, we're all raised on the idea that owning a home is the ultimate dream. But, and this is a big but, if your goal is to get seriously wealthy, buying a house early on might be the biggest mistake you can make. It completely flips a common belief on its head.
So here's what it all comes down to: opportunity cost. The source gives this amazing example with his son Curtis. Get this, Curtis saved up 70 grand. Now what does everyone tell you to do? Path on the left, right? Use it for a down payment. But then what happens? All that money, all that potential is just locked up in one single asset that grows super slowly. It's like starting from zero all over again. But Curtis, he did something different. He took the path on the right. Instead of buying a house, he plowed that $70,000 back into his business. And today, that business pulls in about $1 million a year. See the difference? By renting, his money was free to work for him and compound like crazy.
All right, let's move on to the next major wealth trap. And this one, well, it's probably parked outside your house right now. A new car. I mean, after a house, it's the biggest thing most people buy. And it's called the silent killer of wealth for a damn good reason. It's this huge expense pretending to be an asset, but all it really does is bleed money. And this chart shows you exactly why. I mean, just look at these numbers. Literally the second you drive a new car off the lot, its value just tanks. We're talking a 22% drop in the first year alone. And after 5 years, it's worth less than half what you paid. That's not an investment. That's just a guaranteed way to lose a ton of money.
So how do you play it smart? How do you beat this game? It's simple, really. You let someone else pay for that massive drop in value. The strategy here is brilliant. Buy a good, reliable used car that's maybe 5 years old. Like a Ford Focus or something similar. When you do that, you're buying it after it's already lost most of its value. That person who bought it new, they took the financial hit for you. You save a fortune, and you have way more cash to put towards things that actually make you money.
Okay, so we've covered the big stuff. Now let's talk about something a little sneakier: deceptive lifestyle costs. These are the smaller, everyday things that seem totally fine by themselves. But trust me, they add up. They become this constant leak, draining not just your bank account, but your focus too.
And here's our midpoint hook for you. This one might ruffle some feathers. Should you stay single to get rich? I know it sounds nuts, but the argument is actually pretty powerful. Think about it. When you are all in, grinding, trying to build something huge, a relationship can be a massive drain on your 2 most critical resources, your time and your money.
I mean, let's just talk numbers for a second. On average, people spend over $100 just for Valentine's Day. Now add it a birthday, an anniversary, maybe a few other just because gifts, you're easily looking at more than $580 a year. And look, the point isn't about being stingy, it's about being strategic. When you're in that crucial building phase, that's money and mental energy that could be going directly into your future.
Next on the list, your phone. We're all caught in this cycle of endless upgrades, but I'm going to tell you a secret. Ready? No one actually cares that you have the latest iPhone. Seriously, nobody is impressed. The source tells this great story about how he was still using an old iPhone 4 while his son had the new iPhone 6. And you know what? He didn't care one bit because his phone didn't define his success.
And that right there is the whole mindset shift you need to make. It's about looking at that expensive piece of tech and asking a simple question. Is this a status symbol to show off, or is this a work tool that's actually going to help me make more money? Hey, if that new laptop or phone is going to boost your productivity and your income, go for it. But if you're just buying it to look cool, you're falling right into the trap. All right, let's move on to our next section. Habits that drain your money. These are the little things, the impulse buys, the death by 1,000 cuts for your finances. They're usually pushed on us by smart marketing, and it takes real effort to say no.
So here are 4 huge ones to watch out for. Number 1, fake sales. You see that 50% off sign? A lot of the time they just jacked up the price beforehand so it looks like a deal. 2, designer clothes. You're not just paying for quality, you're paying for their massive ad campaigns. 3, subscription overload. You don't need 5 streaming services at once. Pick one, watch everything you want, cancel it, then sign up for the next one. Easy. And number 4, extended warranties. They're almost always just pure profit for the store. Skip them. Okay, our final habit. And this one isn't so much about what's in your wallet. It's about what's in your head. If you want a real unfair advantage in life, you have to stop drinking alcohol. This is all about getting back your energy, your clarity, and your focus.
And look, this isn't just some random opinion. We've got the data. A study from the University of Sussex found that after just 1 month without alcohol, 71% of people slept better, 67% had more energy. That's huge. I mean, better sleep and more energy, those aren't just little perks. They're the fuel you need to stay focused and crush your goals.
So we've talked about what to avoid. Homes, new cars, fancy clothes, even alcohol. But what's the big idea connecting all of this? What's the real goal here? It all comes down to a major shift in how you see the world.
Here it is. This is the mindset. It's choosing long-term freedom over short-term approval from others. It's realizing that money is a tool to build your future, not a toy to impress your friends. You have to make conscious choices, not just follow the crowd. Because at the end of the day, your goal isn't to look rich, it's to be rich.
And that leads us to the one last really important question for you. This is what it's all about. It's a simple trade-off, really. Are you willing to sacrifice looking good today for the absolute freedom to do whatever you want tomorrow? That's the real question.